head to your dreams. Because you never know what's around the corner. Deal Island, East Cove to northern Tasmania at the Tamar River, with the river that Launceston is on, is about 97 miles. So in the planning phase decided to leave at night. Got up around 3 o'clock, left around 3:30 or something like that, and it was dark, and the little white dot on the black on the screen is the anchor light of the boat behind me. So I motored, pulled the anchor up and then motored just to get behind it, so I didn't have to deal with that boat, and then started pulling up the anchor and stowing it away because I was going to do the ocean crossing, and I didn't want the anchor dangling and deal with it out there because I didn't know what the sea was like. But ran into a few problems, as I'll show you on the chart plotter photos, of drifting over, I don't know about dangerously, but definitely noticeably close to the edge. And I'd also had a story when I did my haul out earlier in June of a boat coming over to Deal Island and striking a rock at night. So I can see how that can happen, and I think I push it too much at night and think that everything is great and the chart plot is a wonderful instrument and all that type of thing, and it is, but it can still be out, and you can't see the sea state. There's a whole lot of things that you need to consider, so travelling at night shouldn't be taken lightly. So I'll show you those chart plotter photos of the drift, and yeah, I'll definitely reconsider my approach to nighttime navigation, that's for sure. Yeah, hello. This is in the Toucan 2 Saloon. Just I really wanted to let you know why I'm reassessing my nighttime cruising, navigating ventures. Sort of recently, how can I say it? I received a bit of a whack, if you like to describe it like that, the other day at night, coming in at night, and I come down a breaking wave in this boat, and of course the back overtook the front, so I slid sideways, and then the breaking wave come through the back of the boat, and it's sort of a bit of a life-changing experience. That I ended up getting away with it, even though an engine cut out. I ended up getting back out through the braking section. I don't know how I did it, but it happened, and I got out of it. And you got to learn from that. That's like such a big mistake. And I did it at night because I couldn't see the sea state. I was probably tired. Just made some really bad decisions. So that's why I'm thinking back now. Like, this is all looking back in hindsight. And the Deal Island incident is just something that I thought back at and realised what I'd actually sort of done, and sort of what I'd risked or what I hadn't looked out for. So I'm not saying I'd never do nighttime navigation again, but you definitely don't want to be complacent about it. And also, when coming out of Deal Island and out of Murray Passage, I've never been out there before, and I don't know the area. All I've got is a map of it, and I know anytime you get current against wind, you can have some pretty amazing or at least uncomfortable seas. So, and I'd much rather be able to assess that for the first time by looking at it. So yeah, that's a big lesson I've learned. I'm feel very grateful that I've actually got away with it, and I've still got my boat, because it could have been washed up and all done. So that's a bit of a background to that, and the reason why I'm sort of, in my eyes anyway, I'm sort of reassessing the whole thing a bit at night, nighttime sailing. So Anyway, let's move on to it. There's a bit of a footage here now of the actual chart plotter, and you can sort of see where I've drifted off and whatnot. Yeah, so this is the chart plotter zooming in on Deal Island and the other two islands, Dover and Erith. Deal Island's on the right. The pink line denotes my passage. On the top of the screen, that's me coming in to near the jetty, close to the shore there, and then you can see near the number 2 there's where we're anchored. So when we backed out to get past the yacht, and then you can see to the top of the screen there, to the top right, is it veers in towards the shore into like 0.5, which denotes 500 mil of water, but it's a fairly steep gradient there at the seabed, so we got over pretty close to the shore there, as you can see. We're out of Deal Island without a hitch. We've got a good bit of wind, and we come across the mighty Bass Pyramid, just this massive bit of rock coming out of Bass Strait, 80 metres high. So still sailing, come across the COSCO shipping company's ship, and they show up in my boat on the AIS, and which shows up on the chart plotter as a little green triangle. And so I can then look at that and I can see what size of ship it is and what speed it's going at. Pretty handy actually. About halfway over, the wind started to drop off, and I don't generally muck around, and I see the wind dropping off. I turn the motors on pretty quick because I know I need to get over to the other side. You can see how much the wind's dropped off here. Like Bass Strait is giving me a reflection of myself on the water just up here. I don't know how often you see that, but the colour of the water was absolutely sensational. So we're cruising along at around about 6 to 7 knots, depending on current and all that type of thing. Just another shot here of the same thing, but from the stern. Now one of the things I do a bit is every 2 hours or so I'll go in and check the exhaust is pumping out water. And what I mean by, and so what that does is the water sucks up into the engine and then it pumps it around the exhaust and then out this little, I'll show you just down here. This is a shot of that little window there where I look into when I'm under passage, so I don't have to get down on the sugar scoop out the back to risk falling in. You can see that water pumping out that exhaust. That's good. So I'll go that side and I'll look at the other side as well. And the reason I do that is I'll show you a bit of footage of the engine. It pumps it through a raw water pump through that manifold there coming off the side of the engine, that exhaust manifold, and then up the S bend so it can't siphon back, and through the blue canister, and then out the side there. That's the other side where that water was pumping out. And if the water's pumping out, it's all good. This boat here, I was on a diverging heading with. I called him on the radio, but he never responded, so I just paralleled my heading with him and slowed right down and let him pass, because I don't think they're going to slow down much. I think they push you pretty hard. So we're almost in Tamar now. Here we can see we've docked, and this is the pilot boat here that goes out to meet that ship. So he's already been out, and this is actually not the time, that same incident there, but another time. But gives you the same idea. So if you look at this, is a pilot boat from many years ago compared to that rig you saw before. It would be a fair bit different going out there in that, especially in rough conditions. But actually, the whole pilot precinct where I'm moored up here, that's my yacht just there. Toucan's just sitting on that pontoon jetty there in the pilot precinct. So pilot boats leave here, and the pilot boat's already been out to that big ship there, and the pilot's boarded on, and he's coming in the Tamar River. You can see him just passing that red buoy, and the river out there is 50 metres deep. It's a pretty sensational river, and that's a massive ship. There's a big industry down there, wood shipping industry that goes down there and fills up with wood chips. So the whole area's got a pretty good big history of maritime. A few wrecks out in the reef outside called the Hebe Reef, and so they got this big old foghorn that they've re-erected from the days. They used to use that, and they could hear that for like 20 miles away in fog. That was only used in fog. And also, another thing they used to use is flags, so that they could communicate to a ship via flags. It's a bit of footage of that over here. There's the flagpole, and that's just that's not trying to tell anyone a message. That's just a museum sort of piece, but that's sort of what it was back in the day. So the drone's just going to go up here from the pilot precinct, or looking at the pilot precinct from above. So all those white houses with the red roofs are basically the old community that were just basically set up for the pilots to go out and service the ships by bringing them into the entrance. It's now a museum, and there's a bit of accommodation and things like that there. But and then the other thing too is you can see out on the headland here, Low Head Headland, there's a lighthouse out there, and that's the two reefs you can see on the entrance. And the foghorn is basically a couple of air compressors, or an air compressor that just pumps up a volume of air, so mostly high volume and not necessarily as that high pressure, and it just pumps out these big massive blasts, which you'll hear in a minute. The three blasts will indicate to a ship that it's low head that they're hearing, and if they're in fog, obviously they'd probably either slow down or have some method of, I'm quite sure, they'd definitely slow down and try and keep away from any hard stuff like rocks and stuff. So that's where Toucan is down there, and you can see the pilot boat there as well. The actual initial pilot, what would you call it, jetty, is that little bit of rock there you saw at the front. It's actually been extended quite a lot in modern days. Now this is the foghorn engine. One's a diesel engine, and the other one's a electric engine. So you can hear that foghorn going, and that's 120 decibels, I think. Anyway, that's about it. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time.